Greetings and thank you for joining us today for Hope NCCU's Collegiate Recovery Community monthly live stream, where we focus on different behavioral and process addictions and positive coping strategies to avoid these issues. This month, we would like to focus on providing students with advice for prioritizing and maintaining self-care and mental health for the new fall semester, as well as focusing on Overdose Awareness Month. So we would like to introduce some amazing members of the NCCU Counseling Center. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our special guests, Nia Morgan, Bernadette Correa, and Janelle Hines. Counselors from the Student Counseling Center. We are your hosts. I'm Julia Loud, and with me is my co-host, Ms. Demia Millhouse. How are you doing today, Demia?
I'm doing well. How is everybody?
We are both the graduate assistants to the Collegiate Recovery Community here in the Counseling Center, and we're going to begin with our first question that we have for our special guest. So first off, how are you all doing today?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. How are you all today?
We're doing good, and we're so happy to have you all. We have some great questions. So before we get started, can we go around, starting with Janelle? Please state your name and your position here at the Counseling Center.
So I'm Janelle. I am one of the staff counselors here in the Counseling Center.
Hello, my name is Nia. I am another one of the staff counselors here at the Counseling Center, and I am housed in Annie Day.
Hi, I am Bernadette Correa. I am the temp sport and performance counseling support person. So I do a little bit of clinical counseling and a little bit of performance psychology.
Okay, great. Thank you. What is your excitement for the new school year, and what do you hope to see for the students this semester as they continuously see you throughout this time?
I can go. There's a lot of talk about this being the largest.
You're on mute now.
Am I still on mute?
Mm-mm.
I'm Nia's saying I'm not.
No, you're not on mute. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can everyone else hear me? Okay, great. So there's a lot of talk on campus about this being the largest freshman class in NCCU history. So I am excited about that. I'm excited that students are wanting to attend an HBCU, but I'm also hoping to see students taking full advantage of the resources here on campus, including the Counseling Center, but not limited to the Counseling Center. So there's a number of student resources and organizations and departments here that honestly do support students' ability to thrive and function well. And so I'm excited to see how students actually utilize the resources on campus to their ability. So yeah.
I'll add to that, kind of along the same lines, Janelle. I'm just excited to see this new incoming class use those resources. I think as time goes on, every incoming class has more and more at their disposal and more willingness to ask for help. And they have seen it more as like a strength to utilize the resources around them. So I'm excited to see this year specifically what that looks like for our incoming class.
I just kind of like to I share in what both my colleagues, Bernadette and Janelle, have to say. I think just getting to meet new clients, seeing what the students have to bring and the way that they interact on campus and just kind of light up the school. So.
Thank you all for that insight. And that brings us to our next question. Are there any concerns you expect or often see in students at the start of the new school year?
I'd like to start this one. Sort of contradicting what I just said. I think at the beginning of every school year, every academic term, there's this hesitation to ask for help, especially for students who don't want to be seen like they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, they're not sure if it's really okay to drop into professor's office hours or not. And so I think the concern that we see a lot of is that the lack of initiative in asking for help. And a lot of times, especially for freshmen or transfer students, that tends to start off your college career with some type of unnecessary struggle. And so at the counseling center, we want our students to know that we're here to help you, and you don't need to be going through a mental health crisis. You don't need to have a diagnosis. You could be dealing with stress, you could be dealing with a breakup, or you could be dealing with something more severe. And we're here to help you manage all of that, whether that's in-house or through a referral. So please don't be afraid to ask for help, and know that we are here and there are other resources around campus that are also available to assist you.
I think it's also really common for, especially for first year students, just coming in, being so excited about all the newness that is college, and sometimes overcommitting themselves to too many things. And then that kind of leading to just, further struggling to find stability on campus, and like catch your groove, sometimes being overwhelmed with just the amount of responsibility that they're taking on. So I just want to encourage students to be mindful of the things that they're signing up for, be mindful of their schedules, and also just be mindful of the energy that they're giving, and making sure that they're reserving some of that for themselves, and carving out time to take care of themselves during the day as well.
And I'll quickly add that it's okay that you're having to adjust to campus life. I think that a lot of times, especially for transfer students and new students, it can be a big adjustment coming to campus, and especially if you're living on campus and things of that sort. And so having to navigate different social settings and establishing new social circles, and also having to get acclimated to time management and having morning classes and evening classes and all of the things, and having to navigate the campus and everything. And so I just want to normalize that it's okay for there to be an adjustment period. It's, again, kind of echoing my colleagues, it's okay to also seek support and help, even if it's just, hey, I have this quick question, or hey, I'm not sure how to find people who are like-minded or have shared interests and stuff. And so just know that is normal, that is okay, and that you can seek support around that.
Thank you guys so much for sharing that. I definitely agree with all of your insight, especially for incoming and new students who come from high schools that have a lot of structure, and coming to college where the structure and expectations is all on them and their schedules aren't just made out for them. It's definitely a tough place to struggle sometimes and to get lost in a little bit of the chaos. But hopefully all the students recognize the resources that they can use to definitely keep their selves self-minded, and keeping themselves important amongst the chaos. And so our next question is there a point in the year when stress and substance use can increase among students?
I think we typically see an uptick in this definitely during like midterms and homecoming season. And sometimes it can kind of correlate with each other or occur at the same time. And so, I mean, just the stress of midterms in general, and oftentimes it kind of sneaks up on students, especially in the fall semester. The fall semester tends to kind of be, it seems a little shorter, just with all of the breaks and things of that sort. So by the time it's like October time frame, you're like, dang, how did midterms come up already? And so then also maybe a couple of weeks after that is homecoming time. So we do tend to see a lot of referrals for alcohol and other drugs, substances and stuff. And so with that, just kind of be mindful that, you know, with homecoming time in the fall, and it can be easy to fall into the trap of wanting to experiment, and also you can likely get sanctioned, or you might see one of us as a result of having to go see the dean of students. So just kind of be mindful of that time frame, because it can be a stressful time, also an exciting time for students.
Thank you. And on the topic of substance use, August 31st is National Overdose Awareness Day. We want to ask, and this is a lengthy question, so if I need to repeat it, I absolutely can. Can you provide the signs that students or any individuals to look out for concerning mental health, excessive drug use, or even signs of overuse of alcohol or substances?
Yeah, some of the signs that I typically try to inform students or even parents and other professionals or colleagues, definitely isolation. So if you find yourself being to yourself more, and that's not necessarily a common thing for you. So like isolating yourself from friends and from others, low attendance for class, it can be low energy, and not because like you're consistently working out, but just because you're tired and you don't have any, energy whatsoever. Increased irritability, changes in mood, increase substance use. So if you occasionally utilize alcohol, but you're finding yourself using it way more and not just in social settings, or other substances, then those can all be signs of like, hey, something else might actually be going on. And it's not just that I'm wanting to socially participate in these activities, but it might be that I'm actually having a hard time adjusting to whatever may be going on, or I might need to increase some coping skills. So those are definitely some signs to kind of look for within yourself, but then also with other people.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Janelle. What is important to remember about maintaining sufficient mental health during stressful times?
Something that I always like to encourage a lot of my students I work with early on is to work on building like a routine for yourself. Building a routine that may be something of how you start your day, and then building a routine of how you kind of wind down at the end of the day. Um, Adding those pieces of structure can help um, decrease stress levels before kind of stepping out into the world for the day. So your ability to handle distress is greater. And then, towards the end of the day, kind of the same message, helping to decrease some of that stress. And also, it helps to kind of send signals to your body like, okay, we're winding down for the day. And it can allow you to kind of remind you to start like relaxing or resting. So those are some tips that I always say is a great way to help maintain just some balance.
Anything that brings you joy is also a really good way to just kind of maintain your own mental health and mental wellness throughout the semester. And some people pack their schedules so tight that they're like, I don't even have 5 minutes in the day for it. Fine, find the 5 minutes in the day where you can listen to a song that you enjoy on your walk to class, right? Like there's always something that you can do. You can always find a 3.5 minute window that a song fits into, right? To boost your mood. As long as it's something that makes you happy, that brings you joy, in a healthy way, right? We're here to promote healthy coping. So make sure that it is something that is adding value to your life. If it's something that's, excuse me, if it's something that you enjoy, just making that time, taking that time for yourself as much as you possibly can.
Hey, and thank you all so much. That was some great advice, and I'm sure students are definitely going to need it because coming into college, especially, whatever year you are in college, presents many stressors, and mental health is of the utmost importance. So we really do appreciate you all for providing that advice and also coming in with us today. You guys do amazing work at the Counseling Center, and we definitely encourage students to come see you all if they need that support. And before we close out, we did want to ask, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience today? Upcoming events, if you want to plug something else in for our students, please feel free to share it.
I want to take this time to remind everybody that we are not just the resources that are on campus. We have an extension of services through our care manager. So if there's any reason at all that you're uncomfortable seeing a counselor on campus, we have the resources available to connect you and help you get there, potentially help cover some costs with that. And our off-campus providers can do assessments for mental wellness, for mental illnesses. They can do medication management. We have specialists that can do things like family-focused therapy, trauma-focused therapy, eating concerns. So please don't think that it's just the faces that you see today or just the counseling center, because we are so much bigger than just this one building on campus.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram at NCCU_Collegiate Recovery and at NCCU_Counseling Center, and on Facebook. Also, please be on the lookout for our next monthly live stream and some exciting upcoming events this semester. We have a lot planned for everybody. Thank you, everyone.